Hole number 2, what can we learn on a par 3, which is mid-range, maybe 150, 160 for yellow, and maybe 130, 120, 130 for ladies. It is a hole that is a little bit complicated because there's literally bushes on the left and on the right. So from further up, this is a forward tee. From further up, it's literally bushes left and bushes right, and you have that little piece of that little window that you have to play the ball into it. So there is certainly a lesson in feeling comfortable when somebody feels uncomfortable. So a golfer has to learn what club selection he has to take in a situation which is probably a little bit like limited sideways. Sometimes people over 150 meters, they take a long fairway wood or even a driver sometimes. So then they have a driver and they have a limited space where they have to play the ball into it. It's a different story when somebody hits a 7-iron or 6-iron from up there than when somebody hits a driver. So club selection obviously is important because we want to know where we can fail. There is 2-3 bushes here on the right side. Otherwise, everything is pretty much free. If you're short, if you're long, you're gone. So knowing your distance to this front of the green is super important. And then for better players, obviously, it's also important to know where the backside of the green is, so they know front and back. And then for higher handicappers, obviously, it's about finding out, is it better to miss the ball on this side, the hole on this side of the green, or is it better to miss it on this side? Obviously, that bunker there has something to say in that strategy. It also depends on where the flag is. Sometimes the flag's up here, then obviously a fail down there is really good because you have some green to work with. So from here we have one different level, so we can try and play different shots into that green. Once we can play the low and run, and we can play the high shot, try and make that work, see how players can play the shot, because this is all about creating situations where golfers have trouble, where they have to find a solution. So sometimes we're obviously tiger in the woods and we have to find out, do we play through here? Do we play through here? Do we play over here? How do we solve that? And it becomes especially hard when your kids are watching and even videotaping it, because you're aware of the family consequences if you miss this one. So playing around trees is also one of the topics that we work quite often with our pupils. It's really about learning in with one look on what's the easiest and best solution. Then sometimes when we do play rounds that count, obviously stable forward points and stable forward situation. Am I down here with my first one or am I down here with my third one? So that obviously is a bit of a difference. Then sometimes we are a bit more aggressive than if it's our first one, and we can play it out and then hack it from there onto the green. So we have escape from under trees. We've talked about that. Low approach shots. We've also talked about that. I absolutely love giving people situations around the green where they then have to look for a 9-iron and they have to land it short and then let it roll up. And then obviously I'm giving them the sandwich from here that they have to play up with a zone behind it. If they hit it too long, they're in trouble. So I literally love creating situations where the consequences are always in their face, and they realize that playing an easy shot is most of the times better than playing the high risk shot. So pitches over bunker, that's quite a funny one, because we have a situation here with a bunker. So then pitching from here onto a flag that is close here or a flag that's over there, it makes a hell of a lot of difference where the flag is. But it's also about a mental thing that if a flag's short, landing it over here and letting it roll out is absolutely okay. You can then still putt it back. So creating that double side on the green, so we have two different plateaus, if you want so, and then different flag position obviously create different problems, and we want to give the people or the golfer the possibility to try different shots and to learn every time we do them. So it's literally every day that we come by one of the holes where we can pitch over a bunker and we place different flag positions on the green to then work on pitches over the bunker. Slope play on greens, that's really funny that when we putt, then a lot of times I'll put the people or the golfer into a situation where the ball's over here and the flag's over here, so they have to go through that situation. And sometimes I have success that they are actually playing it down there because they haven't aimed enough up to the left, and then from there taking the second putt from there. But they wanted to play it tight towards the flag, and that's where they end up. So playing with slopes is really, really, really nice to make a golfer understand when is a situation an easy situation, and what do I have to do in a situation like this, playing downhill? What do I have to do if I'm playing across a slope? What if I'm playing up a slope to a situation that way? So we have lots of possibilities to create artificial situations, and that's what I usually do. Sometimes I let them play their ball, but quite often I pick up the balls and I create situations, and I try and make them learn from the situations that they are facing, rather than having just a random putt. Then the hole is there and their ball is here. So there's not too much to be learned about that. And I'm always trying to make sure that the learning is maximum. Putts from the fringe, that's also something that I love to do, because we have quite often situation where the flag sometimes is over here and the ball's over here, and people on the practice green, they never putt. They always putt from the green, but on the golf course they use the fringe quite a lot to play. So I'm setting always situation where they have to play from the fringe, and sometimes it can be an easy situation, as I'll have one situation, one ball over here, I'll place one ball over here, and I'll place one over here. So they have 3 golf balls, and it's always a little further and always a little further on the fringe, and they have to manage the amount of roll that a ball is creating from certain situations. Really a lot of fun that is. Pitch shots from the first cut. Obviously there is situations on the golf course where we can practice pitch shots from shortcut grass, so because the green's a little bit elevated, it becomes an additional problem, and depending on where the flag position is, it is a different situation as well. So lots of opportunities here to get golfers to experiment with different situations and get better in those situations. When playing aggressive and when playing defensive, yeah, that has to do with the short game mostly here, because there's trouble behind the green and we don't want to go long. Then repair a ball mark. I really, really want to stress that please don't do it like that. That's somebody that actually pushed in with the tee and then lifted it up. So what he lifts up is the brown area, the turf area. So then we have turf coming up, and it's literally giving us a brown spot for 2 to 3 weeks. A pitch mark is always pushed back, so you move in the tee that way, and then you push forward. You push the grass, which is over here, which has been compacted into this area. You push it this way again. You push it this way. You push it this way. You don't lift. Okay, so that's really important. Never lift, always push it backwards. That's why if the ball has come from that direction, I usually start here, from there, from somewhere over here, like maybe here, I start pushing this way, and then I'll go here and I start pushing this way, and then here start pushing this way. In most cases, after 2 to 3 interventions, that hole or that area is closed and is ready to grow again. So that's kind of important. Then if you're having a hard day, and your bad days are literally part of your good life, just remember that there is good days and there is bad days, and we have to learn and live with that. And the best thing you can do is just enjoy the company and the people you're out and around with, instead of getting angry. That sometimes helps a lot. Instead of making it worse and worse and worse on a day where things obviously aren't clicking, just try and play your bogey golf and enjoy the day, and don't get too upset about the ball not doing what you want to do.